56 points a game, and they've given up a total of one touchdown this season. They lead the nation in scoring defense. Let's start with the offensive side. Garrett Schrader, their quarterback. We saw him last year able to throw and run the ball. What problems does he present?
Yeah, he's a big kid, got a big arm. He's got experience now as well. Throws a good deep ball. Has guys that can go get it and extends plays with his legs. And so we got to keep him corralled in the pocket. And when he scrambles, we got to have eyes on him because a lot of the plays that they make are busted plays. Play breaks down, he extends the play, guy gets open and hits a home run. So definitely got to do a good job of containing the quarterback.
The other thing that they've been able to do, and of course a part of this is because they had two such lopsided games, they've been able to spread the wealth, and they've got a lot of different receivers involved in their package. But really, their offense goes with Schrader, and he's the key to stopping him on Saturday.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It is a quarterback-driven offense, and so we got to make sure that we are in tune to how to affect and confuse and harass him.
Defensively, they line up in a 3-3-5, but they move around a lot, and what you see at the beginning may not be what you see at the snap. And how difficult does that make it for your quarterback and company?
Yeah, really, it's complicated for the offensive line. You kind of can tell what they're going to be in from a back end standpoint, like what kind of coverage is coming behind the front. But they get to different variations of four down and pressures and twist games, the majority of their snaps. And so our guys got to do a good job of communicating and being locked into their assignment.
For those who forgot about last year's game, Syracuse had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. Purdue came back and scored 2 touchdowns, including one with less than a minute to play to take a lead. But they had a penalty, an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the extra point, and then on the coach for coming out and asking about the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Kicked off from the 10-yard line, which was a first for me. And Syracuse was able to take the ball in from the 50-yard line and go in and score the winning touchdown with 7 seconds. Got a lot of different faces, but a lot of guys were there last year, and I'm sure that game is still etched in their memories.
Absolutely. It's the guys that have been here have talked about it and thought they let that one get away a year ago, and so we're excited to go play. Holding
the home court advantage and getting wins on the home field is really key to building a program, and I know that's an emphasis for you.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to a electric atmosphere at Ross-Ade. I've heard what it's like to be in that stadium at night, and to be a sold-out crowd. It should be a fun and exciting environment, and we got to do our best to take care of business.
All right, we've got the final segment of the Ryan Walters Show presented by the Rohrman Automotive Group coming up. It's the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Gemco Constructors, headquartered in Indianapolis, Indiana, is a mechanical, electrical, plumbing, service, and design-build commercial contractor. Gemco provides comprehensive design and build solutions for its customers locally and throughout the United States. Whether a large new construction project or a small tenant finish, Gemco approaches each job with the same sense of dedication and quality. Gemco Constructors, building your vision, concept to creation.
You've got a comeback in you. When you take the next step, you're going to make it count for your career, for your family, for your life. You can earn a degree you're proud of with Purdue Global. Purdue Global is backed by Purdue University, one of the nation's most respected and innovative public universities. This is your chance. This is your opportunity. This is your comeback. Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults. Start your comeback today at purdueglobal.edu.
Bird dog, Omaha, spindle twirl on 3.
Hudson, what's that?
It's a fake handoff, short pass on the left side, touchdown.
Does it work?
Every time.
Ooh, I have one. Rohrman Auto, new, used, service, selection, save.
It's a little straightforward.
That's exactly what we strive for at the Rohrman Automotive Group.
There's no surprise.
In the car business, no surprises is a good thing.
Get the vehicle you want and great service at the Rohrman Automotive Group, Fort Wayne, Indianapolis, and Lafayette.
From the moment the first seed is in the ground, your days until harvest are numbered. Each day, every decision leads to your bottom line. So when it comes to harvest, rely on the only combine built to deliver the numbers you deserve. The Kloss Lexion gives you the quality, efficiency, reliability, and precision that make every minute count. Go ahead, let the numbers drive you with a Lexion Combine built by Kloss.
The Rohrman Automotive Group is supporting your Boilermakers as the presenting sponsor of the Ryan Walters Show and proud partner of Purdue Athletics. Rohrman Automotive Group, boiler up and hammer down against Purdue. Again, it's Purdue against Syracuse, 7:30 on Saturday night, and you're always focused on the present as a coach, but you also have to look to the future. Can't talk about specifics, but you got a lot of recruits coming here on Saturday night for what should be a great atmosphere.
Yeah, we're excited about it. The community here is phenomenal, and to bring potential future Boilermakers here to see just how phenomenal it is important. And so I'm excited to put on a good show and have talented young men in the crowd watching.
Coaches tend to be creatures of habit. Sometimes we have noon kickoff, sometimes 3:30, sometimes we think a noon kickoff goes into whatever it is. Night kickoff, what's your schedule on Saturday?
We'll let them sleep in a little bit. We practice in the mornings every day, and so I think it'll be good for them to get some rest. We'll have a late brunch, stretch them out a little bit midday, allow them to sort of get off their feet, watch some games, and then, try to arrive to the stadium about 2 hours prior to kickoff and then start our pregame routine.
It's early in the season, but I think already we've talked about the resilience that your team has shown. What do you like the most? What? And I don't know if it's surprised you the most, but what do you like the most as you get ready to head into conference play next week?
Just like they don't panic and they don't overreact. When things go bad, they just sort of put their head down, go to work, and on to the next play. So you got to have a short memory. You got to log information when you have unsuccessful plays or unsuccessful drives, but you also got to have a short memory to be able to go succeed and not let one play affect the next.
That tone has to be set though by the head coach. Even keel is the key. You want to be excited, but you also need to be on an even keel.
Yeah, it's my job to let the players sort of ride the highs of the momentum. And to bring them out of the lows. And in order to do that, I've got to be even keel myself. If I start overreacting or go into panic mode, then so will everybody else. And so, albeit hard to do at times because you are competitive and you get the juices flowing a little bit. But I got to be level-headed.
Congratulations on win number 1. Let's go after win number 2 on Saturday.
Absolutely, boiler up.
All right, Wes Scott, our engineer tonight. Our producer is Ethan Sargent. Video by Corey Palm Incorporated. He pays me to say that, by the way. We've got the Boilermakers and the Syracuse Orange coming up at 7:30 kickoff. 6:30 will be our airtime, and we'll be here next Tuesday for the Ryan Walters Show. For the coach and for all our players, this is Tim Newton. We'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.
You've been listening to the Ryan Walters Coaches Show, presented by Rohrman Automotive Group, supporting your Boilermakers as a proud partner of Purdue Athletics. Rohrman Automotive Group, boiler up and hammer down. Also brought to you in part by Intervision Advanced Medical Imaging, the official imaging partner of Purdue Athletics. And by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, proud to be longtime fans and supporters of Purdue Athletics. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Purdue Global Sports Network.
Coach's Corner is your chance to get to know your local coaches, players, and staff of each local school and get the X's and O's before the next games. Join us on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. for the Red Hot Stove League for the latest from the Cincinnati Reds, and stay around for Coach's Corner. During the week, you'll also hear from IU and Purdue coaches, as well as updates from Indy Racing, NASCAR, and the Indianapolis Colts. You'll find us on WSLM 97.9 FM and WSLM 1220 AM, along with live streaming on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Be sure and follow us all season for a front row seat and a closer look at high school and regional sports.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Coach's Corner. This is our 51st season. I'm your host, Nate Pierce. I'm here tonight joined by Austin Roberts. He's one of the coaches out there at Eastern. How you doing tonight, Austin? I'm good. How are you? Doing pretty good. Well, I tell you what, it was a rough football Friday night for Washington County this week. You know, all around it was kind of tough for everybody. And, you know, you guys went down there. You actually hosted.
We went there.
Oh, you went? Okay, you went and seen the new stadium down there, the new field. And got to play on that new turf. It just didn't go your way. What happened?
You know, we started off. They went on a long drive and scored, and we came back. I think with another long drive. We came up empty on that one. But we ended up punching one in before the half. Went into the half. It was 7-6. We felt good about it. Then we played well. You know, we told our kids after the game, we played 45 minutes and we needed 48.
Yeah.
You know, we were driving there at the end with, you know, there's 4 minutes and some change left. We drove down, got across the 50. We ended up fumbling a snap, and, you know, that drive kind of unfolded right there, and we felt strong coming across it. You know, we were going down to either tie the game or, you know, whatever we decided to got down there just kind of came apart. And if you weren't at the game, the score means nothing.
Right.
You know, it was a lot closer than what it seemed. You know, there was a couple plays at the end. We gave up a big play and threw an interception there at the end. So this sport doesn't represent how we play. We played together. We were proud of them. They just kind of unfolded there a little bit at the end.
Yeah, you know, and it's funny how often you can see a score after the fact and think, man, that was a tough game. But whenever you're there and you're watching the game doesn't unfold that way. I mean, it
Right.
looks like, you know, you're actually, you feel like you're in the game and the play calls are going well, everything's going your way, you know, you make some yardage, and then something silly happens and it kind of messes everything up. So I get what you're saying there. The optics of it are completely different when you see it at home versus when we're there.
Yeah, that 33-12, it doesn't represent how our kids played. I mean, our defense was tough. I mean, that's a hard offense to contain. You know, they're fast on the edge. They can throw the ball a little bit. They can run it a little bit. You know, it's a lot to take in. And, man, we did such a good job. And it came down to that drive. You know, it came down to that drive. We didn't get it. We didn't capitalize there. And again, kind of just went away from there.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you. I know, you know, we talk about this all the time, and I'm such a huge fan of that football team. And I think that they're just right there on the edge. And what's it going to take to get that breakout, you think?
You know, it's just it comes down to fundamentals for these kids. You know, it's you know, we play so much on our instinct, which is, you know, good at times, but other times we need to break down and be fundamental.
Right.
And we kind of get caught up in the flow of some offenses rather than sticking to our assignment, then we're flowing to the ball.
Right.
But it takes that, and when our kids do that, you see it. I mean, you see those big plays. I mean, Caleb King, he had some great plays on the end. You know, when we were flying upfield just a little bit, we got that dialed back, and we were right on top of them every time. So it's just those small things again. You know, we kind of lose sight of what we're supposed to do versus what we think we should do. You know, you start thinking plays go by you.
Right. You know, and that's why we drill. You know, it's supposed to be muscle memory, but whenever you're out there and in the heat of the moment, and you're not, you know, thinking back to your training. Right. You're moving off the ball or in a different way of your assignment. Everything falls apart because if one guy doesn't hit his assignment, you know, that whole play is dead.
Right. Yep. Totally agree. We just gotta buckle down and do what we're taught. You know, when we do that, we look really well. When we don't, you know, you see some things that happen, big plays over the middle or something like that. When we should have been there, but we just got caught up in something else and thinking something else. So it's just that one small thing, we can fix that. We feel like we're competitive with anybody.
Right. And just keeping track of the games, the scores and, the wins, losses. You see that every week, and it's like, but this isn't that team. You know what I mean? And I really believe that, because I believe that football team has really come a long way, and you've got some really good players. You've got some really aggressive players. It's just a matter of making everything, like you said, hitting those fundamentals and making everything click. Week to week. Let me pose this question to you. Week 1 to week 4, do you feel like you've improved?
I do. I feel like we're a totally different team. Like I said, you can see when we went into halftime there, it was 7-6, and you would have thought we were the team up by 20.
Right.
I mean, our kids were excited. They just had, I kind of call it their mojo going a little bit. They were excited to be there, excited to play. They were excited they were in the game, and it was just a totally different team. And really, even at the end of the game, it unfolded the way it was. And some of those kids are like, okay, it unfolded. It is what it is. We're going to move on to next week. And we just kind of didn't have that.
Right.
Week 1, it was kind of maybe trying to find somebody to blame and that type of thing. And it just seems like we're kind of starting to shake that a little bit, and it's great to see.
Yeah, that's a great point, because it's almost like you can see, even up in the press box, you can see when the wind goes out of those kids' sails, and they kind of hang it up, and they're just going through the motion. Whenever you've got a team that at the end of it, no matter what the score is, they're still enthusiastic to play football, you're doing something right.
Right.
Being able to watch those kids, and like I said, you can see when that switch flips sometimes. And it's unfortunate, because there's still a lot of football left to play.
Right.
But, how do you keep them from getting into their head?
That's a tough question. I kind of bring it back to, when we played Brownstown, and that score hit 14-0, and it was like we just we're done.
Right.
Some of our kids, they were just down on themselves. And it's just 2 scores. Yeah, and I think finally that hit home a little bit during practice leading up to Silver Creek. It was like, okay, so what they do, we feel like, we're powered enough to go score twice too.
Right.
And it's just those small plays again, trying to keep them up about it no matter what the score is, because like you said, they are a fun group, they are an impressive group, and they can score, but it comes down to those things, holding on your block another second versus letting them go.
Right.
That's a 10-yard gain or a 1-yard loss.
Right.
It could come down to that split second, and I think it's that finally maybe hitting home a little bit, and that game helped. I mean, like I said, we played 45 minutes of, I think, the best football I've seen out of these kids all year.
Yeah.
And it was 19-12. We were behind, and they were playing great. I mean, we had it going, and just, those last 4 minutes, we needed those last 3 or 4 minutes of the game.
Right. Now, you guys have had a pretty rough schedule. To start out with, you've already played Brownstown, you've played Silver Creek. Those are tough teams to play. Whenever you guys are preparing for that, preparing for next week, what's your strategy? What's your mentality walking in Monday?
We just feel like we can compete with anybody. That doesn't mean we.
And I agree with you on that.
Yeah, and we have the talent, we have the pieces in place, we think. And again, it sounds like I'm repeating myself, but we just got to tie it all together.
Yeah.
And tie it together for 4 quarters. And we did that for 3 quarters of 4 quarters. We almost did that on Friday night, and it's just we are right there, and we're just prepared the same way we do every other week. We feel so confident in this group, offensive, defensively. A lot of those kids are playing both ways. They're playing the whole game, and we're just believing in what we do, and we're hoping we're going to get it together, put it together.
Now, who you guys have this weekend?
Corden. We're at Corden.
Now, Corden, they're in a little bit of a rebuild themselves, but it's always a fun group down there as well, because they've always got some pretty good sized kids, and going down there to their house, which is weird because it's the end zone face the sun.
Yeah, right.
I've always wondered why they did that. But,
right.
Going down there and getting to play a tough competitive team like that I think that you guys can absolutely compete with. Whenever you're preparing for that, is it business as usual, or do you have something special?
It's mostly business as usual, but it's you kind of put your mindset on you expect to win.
Right.
You know, it's not that you're going to win. It's not guaranteed. You know, they have some fast kids up there. They got some athletes, as they always do. They like to bring a lot of blitzes. They bring some different looking stuff we haven't seen. You know, so it's going to be how we adjust to that. But it's the expectation that we're going to go down there and win.
Right.
And that's hopefully the expectation every week. You know, you don't want to just compete or go play.
And it's not the expectation that you're going to go down there and win because it's Gordon or because it's this or that. You know, it's the confidence in your team going down there and being prepared and saying, okay, if all the boxes are checked, we should absolutely win this game. And if we hit all of our assignments, we do what we're supposed to be doing, we go out there and play 4 quarters of football, we're going to win this. So it's not like you're bragging because this is a gift, you know what I mean? Because we talked about that.
Yeah, it's definitely not. There's no such thing as
right. There's no such thing as those because on any Friday night, there's going to be a winner and a loser. It's not always who you expect. But I'm glad that you see, that it's a tough football game, but it's that confidence that you've got to have that you got to carry with.
Yeah, I mean, all these games in the Mid-Southern Conference are tough. And you just have to have the expectation that you can win. You know, like I said, we do have full confidence in the kids we have, and we just got to put it all together. That's all it comes down to.
Right. Yeah, and that's, every week you got to do the same thing. And exactly. We've got to do that for another 4 to 5 weeks. And,
yep.
Then we get into postseason, and, hopefully everything goes your way there. And whenever these seasons start to progress, I always talk about what you're doing week 1 versus week 6. Week 6 is fast approaching, and honestly, I'm still in awe and I am impressed with what you guys have got going on down there at Eastern, and seeing what's next. That's what excites me. Is whenever you guys do finally get that big breakout win and get everything together, I think you guys are going to be on fire.
Yeah, and these kids have the ability for that. I mean, they have 100% can do that. We're just waiting for that moment. We haven't. We got a good win up at Crawford, and came back, and Brownstown didn't go the way we thought it should go.
When does it?
Yeah, right. It usually is a rough one, but we felt like we had some opportunities there. And like I said, the attitude when it was 14-0 was just not something that we had seen.
Right.
It was kind of like, well, it's out. It's out of reach now, and that same mentality that it's it's Brownstown. It is what it is. But that attitude has changed.
Right.
And they expect to go down this week and win. They expect to come next week and win, compete. We're expecting to do some big things going here and close it out.
And I expect the same thing. I think you guys are really going to start coming on, and I know it's not like a broken record every time I talk to you guys, but you're just right there. You are just right there. It's just a matter of tying up, the loose ends and getting it together.
Yeah, it is. And there's just, there's just so many of those little things. It's like I talked to a couple of our linebackers about hopping their way before it snaps. It's like you moved yourself a yard and a half up, and now you're out of play. All they got to do is just tip you, And we dialed that back when we were stopping them a yard in the backfield. We're stopping, and that was a quick team in Silver Creek. And they had some kids that can move and have some kids on the edge, and it's just we can do it. It's just like you said, we gotta do it for 4 quarters instead of 2 or 3.
That's right. Well, Austin, it's been good talking to you tonight, buddy. I appreciate you coming up and spending some time with me, and I enjoy getting to know some of you younger guys as you're coming up into the ranks and stuff, and you're always a pleasure to have on our show. I appreciate it. Thank you. Talk to you next time. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Urban and Beyond this September in Louisville, Kentucky, with Bruno Mars, The Killer, Black Keys, Randy Carlisle, plus Duran, Billy String, The Black Crows, The Avid Brothers, Blondie, and so many more. Urban and Beyond, September 14th through 17th in Louisville, Kentucky. All passes on sale now at bourbonandbeyond.com.
All roads lead to Salem on Saturday and Sunday, October the 7th and 8th for the 148th Old Settlers Days at the Stevens Museum and John Hayes Center. Old Settlers Days was first established and held for the community back in 1875. to honor the pioneers who settled the wilderness lands of the Indiana Territory that would eventually become Washington County. Admission is free, and you can walk the museum grounds to enjoy entertainment, demonstrators, and reenactors, and maybe even hear a story or two. Enjoy homemade apple cider, parched corn, and a variety of foods and beverages, and lots of crafts, and tour the depot and see the world headquarters for the Monon Society. Remember to mark your calendars for Saturday and Sunday, October the 7th and 8th, for the 148th Old Settlers Days in Salem.
Louder Than Life, September 21st through the 24th in Louisville with Foo Fighters, Green Day, Tool, Avenged Sevenfold, Godsmack, Limp Bizkit, Pantera, Queens of the Stone Age, Weezer, Megadeth, Turnstile, and many more. Get your passes on sale now at louderthanlifefestival.com.
The 29th Annual Campbellsburg Country Festival will be held October the 13th through the 15th. Be sure and mark your date on your calendars and come out for food, fun, and lots of flea markets, music, and fellowship with your neighbors. Registration for the Miss Country Girl pageant is open now. The pageant will be a festival kickoff event at the West Washington High School on Thursday, October the 5th, before fall break. Open to any girl in Washington County. The Campbellsburg Country Festival would like to invite local churches to provide a booth, games for kids, and upcoming festival entertainment. For more information, contact Whitney Clements on Facebook.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I am live with Coach Brian Gleason. Got it right that time.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing tonight, Coach?
Doing good. Doing real good.
Well, I tell you what, that game Friday night, you always know you're going to have a tough time with Brownstown. Coach Reed May's been up there for 100 years because, for a reason. But you just hope that, you can make the right calls and get everything in the right spot and you can get that done. And it just didn't, man, I tell you, there was so much good to be said about the team on Friday night for us not to, gotten where we were.
Right. We had a lot of positives. I mean, that was, I overheard a couple players just, saying that was even though we, the scoreboard didn't show it, our kids had fun.
Yeah.
Enjoyed the evening. It was just a good evening for football. Obviously we were outmanned a little bit, but we didn't have any penalties. We had 0 penalties. We moved the football. I think we punted only once or twice, maybe twice. So that means if we were going for it on 4th down, that means we had it on midfield or across midfield, more than likely.
Right.
We had a great first drive, just didn't end the way we wanted it to. And we didn't have any injuries. I thought we got tougher. I thought our kids were a lot tougher on Friday night. Our kids didn't. It's been a complete. We've come a long way in 4 weeks. In 4 weeks of games. Right. In week 1, we've got guys laying all over the field, and that was against North Area. This week, our guys got off the field. They were banged up. They got off the field.
Right.
And that was a sense of pride. And I love the way they go. They were tough and played the game the right way. And that's how a football game was supposed to be played. We didn't have to deal with attitudes or behaviors. It was just awesome. And I was proud of our football team for that. And we didn't have any penalties. We didn't have any. It went smoothly. Yeah. On the other hand, the game didn't go our way. Is the point, the score. But I think we were, that will come if we can do those things that we did on Friday night against, as we go forward in the season, we've got a chance to win the game.
Yeah. And watching that game, there were a couple of kids that just absolutely impressed me that, might have had a rough week the week before.
Yeah.
I mean, Braxton Dean was on fire.
Yeah.
And, I think he missed one.
Yeah.
And the sun was right in his face.
Yeah.
And he had a little help with that one.
Well, he had, I think he had 4 catches. And in the wing team, in our offense, that's a lot.
Yeah, and it matters.
Yeah.
Each one of them matters.
And that's huge. I tell our kids, when we, we had a goal going in to get our passing percentage up.
Yeah.
And that's there's a lot of reasons why it was down. It's not just the quarterback and the receivers.
Right.
It's also blocking and things
That's
like
right.
that. There's a lot of things that go into that. And we completed over 50% of our passes. That's huge.
Yeah.
And as we go forward, that is something that has to continue, because that's only going to open up, the running lanes and things like that in our offense.
Yeah. And like I said, I was pretty impressed with, the connectivity between Adam Mole and Braxton Dean, and they were just clicking.
Yep.
And for them to not, got in the end zone with one,
I know.
That's just upsetting.
Right.
And like you said, on that first drive, to have one picked off in the end zone.
Yeah, and it was kind of a fluke interception too.
Yeah,
it was just one of those.
One of those things that right time, right place, right time.
Yeah, and but yeah, Braxton Dean had a good night. I really like the way Adam Mole is running our football team right now. The kids really respect him, and he's doing all the right things. I'm really excited about for him and the rest of the season and the future for him, because he's doing the things the right way, whether we're on the field, in the locker room, or in the weight room, wherever we're at. He's leading the way, and that's what it takes. And I think everybody understands where we're at. We're young. I think we played 7 or 8 sophomores and a freshman.
Yeah.
We started the other night. So I think, but we got better, and so that's the neat thing. And the good news is we don't have to play Brownstown the rest of the season.
Right. Unless we draw them in sectional.
Yeah.
But it seemed like they've been watching film on our secret weapon there, that on Logan Ben. They keyed on him a lot, and he didn't get as much. He didn't get as many breakaways as I was hoping to see from him. And, but that's what happens when you show your guard. Somebody's going to see him.
Well, that's a good defense. I mean, they do a good job. They're well coached and they're disciplined, and they hit you and run to the ball, and they do those things.
Yeah, but that's where it came. It was good to have that second weapon.
Sure.
With the passing work
and that's the wing T. The wing T is not supposed to be heavy one back.
Right.
It's supposed to be equal. They talk about a balanced offense. Well, when you hear that balanced offense, you think 50-50 run pass. Well, our balanced offense needs to be this guy gets 10 carries, this guy gets 10 carries, quarterback gets 10 carries, and the receiver gets 5 to 10. The receivers get 5 to 10. So that's how it's got to be balanced. It's just on any given Friday night, you do what's working or working.
That's right. That's right.
And sometimes it's the running back, sometimes it's the fullback, sometimes it's the quarterback, and sometimes you got to throw it.
That's right. We got to Ryan and I were up there talking during the broadcast. We didn't hear Zane Pauley's name a whole lot, and then all of a sudden we start saying Zane Pauley's name every play on defense.
Yeah.
He's out there, just putting it to him. And I feel like our defense was very aggressive Friday night, and even when our JV got in, some of what we were seeing was like Hunter Haskins for 68.
Yeah, absolutely.
His first play in, the ball runs right at him. He basically belly to belly suplexes.
Right.
So watching those kids that are getting aggressive and stepping up and getting ready to take the next spot, that's encouraging.
Mm-hmm.
They want.
Yeah.
They want to win. They want to play, and they want to do what they're supposed to, and have a winning record.
Absolutely.
It's not always going to happen that way. In some seasons, you're just going to be, you're going to be trailing something.
Right.
But you're making progress. Week 1 to week 6, what's the difference? And even season 1 to season 2, it may take 2 to 3 years to get this rolling. But I do see that we've got kids out there that want it, and that makes me feel like the future's bright.
Right.
And hopefully we get to see that keep progressing.
Yeah, the thing with building a football program is it's just like building a house. You've got to have a stable and solid foundation. That means the core things that we talk about: attitude, character, effort. If we can get those things established, which we are doing right now, then the future it's already set. That foundation is set, and then we just not got to plug in the parts, plug in the pieces, and finish the project. But you got to build that solid foundation, and that's the hardest part about building a house is digging the hole and getting your foundation set, making sure it's right before you start adding on to it. Right. And that's what we're really focusing on.
Now, this week we're at home against Spring Valley.
Yes. And
this is only the second time we played them in that I remember. We may have played them back in the day, but we last year we went up there and we played a very emotional game against them. And we came out on the losing end of that. You've got to feel like our boys are going to want to get in this game. And I know that Springs Valley is a tough team and they're an aggressive team. But I feel like, if our boys are hitting, if we're, hitting on all 8 cylinders, I think this is a game we can win.
Yep. Springs Valley, they're an interesting team because they kind of Paoli kind of handled them a little bit.
Yep.
And then they turned around the following week and they handled West Washington.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of night and day. They moved a couple of kids in positions and did some things. And, but Springs Valley is very well coached. They do a good job of running their buck sweep play. They do pull guards on just about every play. I mean, they kind of like what we do. They do it out of gun. But they're very physical. They run hard. We're going to have our hands full defensively. But it's going to be a good football game because I like the matchup.
Yeah.
I like the matchup better.
But like I said, last year when we went out there and played with them, they, it was a good matchup, and it was a pretty evenly matched team.
Right.
On both sides. The parity was very good. But like I said, they were playing with a lot of emotion, and it was we just came up just a little too late, and hopefully we've learned from those mistakes, and we're a different program now. But you still, there's kids that played that last year and they got that bad taste in their mouth.
Right.
So hopefully we'll get to, we'll get a little revenge out of that. Bringing them down here to our home turf. So
yeah, it's good to be back at home.
So before we get out of here, what's the word on Brian Motson?
Well, he's home.
Yep,
he is home. One of our assistant coaches just was on a phone call with him about half an hour ago before I came over here. He's doing good. He's obviously just doing rehab and things like that at home, and good spirits. So things are progressing well. Still got a long road to hoe, and it's a long way back. But it's just good. I'm glad he's not in that hospital anymore. Rehab. I mean, we've all probably been there at some point, sometime, and it's just not a great place to be. It's kind of now he's home and in comfortable settings, and, around people back in Salem, and he can. I think the healing process will go even faster now.
Good. Now, are we going to do anything special? Are we going to have any tailgating or anything going on?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay. I'll have to give it the linebackers on that one.
I'm new to Salem. This is my first go around. So,
okay.
So I don't know all those answers yet, but I'm excited for the home game, and hopefully we're in good football weather now.
Well, hopefully we're not there till midnight.
Well, oh my goodness, yeah, exactly.
All right, Coach. Well, it's been good talking to you, and I will see you Friday night.
Sounds good.
All right,
Thank you.
take it easy. I'm going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Blue River Baptist Church's annual fall revival is coming up on the evenings of September the 17th, 18th, and 19th, beginning at 6:30 p.m. That's Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday evenings. September the 17th, 18th, and 19th, beginning at 6:30 p.m. Coy Steele, pastor of the First Southern Baptist Church of Floyd Knobs, will be the guest speaker. Blue River Baptist Church is located at 5624 East Farabee Road in Salem. We hope you'll join us. All roads lead to Salem on Saturday and Sunday, October the 7th and 8th, for the 148th Old Settlers Days at the Stevens Museum and John Hayes Center. Old Settlers Days was first established and held for the community back in 1875 to honor the pioneers who settled the wilderness lands of the Indiana Territory that would eventually become Washington County. Admission is free, and you can walk the museum grounds to enjoy entertainment, demonstrators, and reenactors, and maybe even hear a story or two. Enjoy homemade apple cider, parched corn, and a variety of foods and beverages, and lots of crafts, and tour the depot and see the world headquarters for the Monon Society. Remember to mark your calendars for Saturday and Sunday, October the 7th and 8th, for the 148th Old Settlers Days in Salem.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back, and I'm hopefully live here with Jeremy Lowry. We had to do another call in, so hopefully this is working out. Can you hear me, Jeremy? Yeah, I'm going to have to turn you up here just a little bit, I think.
All right.
How about that?
Sounds good. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
It was a rough football week this past week for Washington County. We tried our best, but I don't think a single team in the county came up with one this week.
Well, that's part of competition sometimes. Sometimes you got to eat a little humble pie, and, you compete long enough, and sooner or later, you're going to have one of those nights, and that's part of it. And the big thing you got to be able to do is you got to learn how to handle that, and can you learn from it? Can you put it to bed, and can you get back to work and get productive again for your next week? And obviously, that us, like the other schools in the county, that's what we've all had to do this week. And sometimes that's not fun, but it's definitely part of competition.
And it always stings getting that, getting your hand smacked like that. And it's one thing to dwell on it, but like you said, you've got to pick up the pieces and you got to get right back after it. And it's the way you do it, and what you do next is what matters.
Well, it's all a learning process, and you learn things about your football team every week, and we're going to learn a lot about ours. This Friday is, how do we get back on that horse? How do our kids respond to a tough loss the week before? It's always a learning process, and I'm anxious to see how our kids respond. I feel really good about our football team. Obviously, last week was a disappointment, but my feelings are that they're going to respond well.
And I feel like you're right, because I believe you've got a great group of kids out there. You've got a good team, and they're coached well, and they've shown that they can win. Getting past those little bumps, and you never want to lose, but sometimes that happens. When's the last time a team has gone perfect all the way through? And
right, that's not one of our goals. Going perfect, undefeated season. That's definitely not one of our goals. You set goals and you work toward those goals, and then sometimes you are fortunate enough that you have a special year where you do fall into some special situations like you're talking about. But in most cases, all of our goals are still within reach, and you just got to keep working toward that. Like I said, you got to get back on that horse. You got to get back to work. Our kids have practiced well this week. Monday was a bit sluggish, but Tuesday and Wednesday we had two really good practices. Kids really dialing in, and they have to, because we've got another big game Friday against a really good opponent.
Yeah, going out there, you guys are both 3-1 on the season. The Paoli Rams are they're no slouches out there. Of course, you should know that. You've coached them before, so knowing who your opponent is and knowing what you've got to do out there, what's the strategy? What's the game plan? Are you just making sure that the fundamentals are there, or are you having to work in some wrinkles?
Well, so first of all, you've got to correct the errors from last Friday. You've got to address those issues. We talked about that before.
Yep.
Hard on the issues, trying to be as easy on the people as possible. But at the end of the day, mistakes have to be addressed, and you have to take care of that to move forward. So you're spending the bulk of your time addressing your own football team, but at the same time, you're game planning for a very good Paoli team, and some certain things you have to do, and some certain things you have to take away to be successful against those guys. They're a very good running football team. They're going to run their midline. They're going to run their veer. They're going to run their rocket sweep. They're going to do that out of condensed formations and try to outflank you on the edges. And you've got to have a plan for all that.
Yeah, and that's the way to recovery is, making sure that plan is executed as well as possible and, to the numbers, to get, you want to get off of that lull, where you feel, that you've taken a loss and you're kind of, down on yourself, but getting back on the horse and getting out there and getting after it is going to matter. And that's part of the fundamentals and picking everything back up.
Yeah, it's a game of confidence. It's a game of momentum. You got to give your team an opportunity to start regaining some of that confidence and momentum. Some of that goes into the plan. Some of that goes into fixing your own issues that you had the week before. But at the end of the day, it all comes together. We're going to play a game Friday night. We're going to go over to the hill, Cook Field on the hill over at Paoli, and they've had a ton of success over there. And we're going to have to bring our A game, and it's going to be fun. I mean, our kids are looking forward to competing. We've got competitors on our football team. It'll be a great environment over there, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, you've got to have a short memory on the losses. Not the lessons, but the losses. And whenever you're preparing for that next week, that last week doesn't matter anymore. It's behind you. You can't do nothing about it. It's time to move on, and let's make the best of what we have left of the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's the essence of competition. I mean, that's why we're all here. That how you respond to losses, how you respond to adversity, how you're willing to put yourself out there in difficult situations. That's what this game's all about, man. So, I mean, this isn't anything new. Everybody goes through it. Unfortunately, we had to go through it this week, and we just, we're looking forward to seeing our kids respond.
Absolutely. Now, let me ask you this. I've asked everybody else tonight, we talk about, what type of team you are week 1 versus what type of team you are week 6. We're heading into week 5. Where are you happy with the progress that you've made up to this point?
Well, when you're coming off of your first loss of the year, that's a tough time to evaluate that because, if you look at the season, you think you've taken a step back because to this point we had not lost. But we feel like we are improving in areas where we need to improve at. There's certain things that we started addressing a couple weeks ago that we saw coming up in some games, some issues that we had to get fixed, and we feel like we're working towards that. We have a plan for that, and we feel like this team will continue to get better.
Yeah, you say that, coming off your loss, you feel like, you kind of took a step back, but really is it a step back, or is it just something that maybe you needed to brush over a little more, or control those controllables a little bit better?
Yeah, I mean, it's you just got to dial it a little tighter, and you got to. At the end of the day, it comes back to fundamentals, and you got to rest assured on those drills you run every week, and that you're putting the kids in the right position. And at the end of the day, you are what you are. You are what your record is. Right now, we're 3-1, and we've got another really great game we're looking forward to this weekend that we've got a great opportunity to come out on top of. And at the end of the day, we'll find out what we are in a week, and at the week after that, we'll find out where we're at. And like Bill Parcells always said, you are what your record is.
That's right.
You can try to talk yourself into this, or you can try to talk yourself into something else. But at the end of the day, you can't. Your schedule is your schedule. You're going to go play those teams on your schedule, and you are what your record is.
That's right. And whenever you get down to the the brass tacks of it, that's what matters is the record at the end of the season. And you want to have the best record at the end of the season as possible. But you also want to be the best, the most, the sharpest team that you can be, and being ready for that postseason play. That's all part of that process, and getting to that point. And sometimes it's a lot of fun, and sometimes it's a lot of struggles. But it's a matter of putting in the work and coming back every week and making sure things are happening.
Well, yeah, a football season generally has a lot of peaks and valleys in it. It has ups and it has downs, and there's parts of it that are really exciting and really fun, and then there's parts of it sometimes that get kind of in the grind. And you got to be able to work through those. That's part of running a football team. That's part of being a part of a football team and a football program. And, that's why, Coach Gleason was talking about foundation earlier. That's why your foundation's so important. I mean, you put those things in place to help you through the tough times. That's the thing that you fall back on when you do struggle. And, that's what it's all about. And obviously we hit a little adversity last week, and we've been working this week to get back on track and anxious to get back on the field Friday.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how this all plays out, because I do feel like you guys have got a great football team out there. And I think that, sometimes you just hit a bump, and you've got to, like you said, you got to get back on the horse and get back after it. And I feel like that, I bet that if I were a fly on the wall down there throughout the week practice, that's been addressed very well.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we love our kids. We love what they're about. We believe in them. They believe in us. And when you've got that relationship, you just, sometimes you just got to dredge ahead through some tough times. And losing isn't easy. People take it. We take what we do very seriously. And it wasn't an easy weekend to be a senator, and we got a little taste of that, and you certainly know that that's not the taste you want in your mouth, and everyone in our program's working hard to change that this week.
That's right. Coach, I got to ask you, how's Landon doing?
Landon is doing really well. He had a birthday last weekend, and he's gotten through his first round of chemotherapy, and he's just waiting for his numbers to improve a little bit, get some results back from those numbers, and maybe get to come home for a couple of days before he starts another round of treatment. Handled it really well. I talked to him this weekend. He's got a great attitude, just super positive outlook, and we just appreciate everybody and their thoughts and their prayers, and we're just going to continue to pray for that young man, and just got a lot of faith in the person he is and his attitude and effort that he's going to continue to come through this.
Well, on behalf of everybody here at WSLM and everybody around the county, I'd like to wish him a happy birthday, belated. And I'm glad that he's doing as best as he can, and everybody here is pulling for him.
Absolutely, we appreciate it. Everyone has been very supportive.
All right, Coach. Well, I'm going to let you get off here, and I will talk to you next Wednesday. And good luck this week.
Thank you. We appreciate it. You have a great weekend.
I'll talk to you later. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and I'll be right back.
Bourbon and Beyond this September in Louisville, Kentucky, with Bruno Mars, The Killer, Black Keys, Randy Carlisle, plus Duran Duran, Billy Strings, The Black Crowes, The Avis Brothers, Blondie, and so many more. Bourbon and Beyond, September 14th through 17th in Louisville, Kentucky. All passes on sale now at bourbonandbeyond.com.
Come on out to the Salem Speedway on Sunday afternoon, September 17th, for the End to Summer Twin 50, presented by On-Site Plumbing, Heating, and Air, and the Hoosier Lottery, with 5 feature races from the Diesel Boys Gas Series Street Stocks with a 50-lap feature, the Mike Muffler and Brakes Crown Vic Big Track Series with a 50-lap feature, plus the On-Site Plumbing, Heating, and Air Crown Vic Figure 8 Series, Max Auto and Scrap Recycling Legends, and the On-Site Plumbing, Heating, and Air Crown Vic Short Track Series. The Hoosier Lottery will be there with special giveaways for fans attending the event. Spectator gates open at 10 a.m. Racing begins at 2. General admission tickets $15. Chairback seats are $20. Kids 12 and under are always free for general admission. More events and ticket info is available at www.salemspeedway.com or call 866-2-GO-RACE. We'll see you at the High Banks on September 17th.
Scott Graham here from Westwood One. Sunday Night Football for Week 2 comes from New England when Bill Belichick's Patriots host the Dolphins, hoping to bounce back from an opening game loss. For Miami, Tua Tagovailoa looked impressive in a Week 1 win over the Chargers, throwing for 466 yards and 3 touchdowns. Ryan Radke and Ross Tucker will have the call of the Dolphins at the Pats on Sunday Night Football.
Labyrinth of Life, September 21st through the 24th in Louisville with Foo Fighters, Green Day, Tool, Avenged Sevenfold, Godsmack, Limp Bizkit, Pantera, Queens of the Stone Age, Weezer, Megadeth, Turnstile, and many more. Get your passes on sale now at LabyrinthofLifeFestival.com.
Kevin Harlan here from Westwood One, inviting you to join me and Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner every Monday this season. It's Westwood One's 45th year of bringing you primetime NFL games, and the schedule is packed with great matchups. Plus, you'll hear Rich Eisen from the studios with interviews and the latest news around the NFL. Don't miss any of the action every week on Monday Night Football.
Urban and Beyond this September in Louisville, Kentucky with Bruno Mars, The Killer, Black Keys, Randy Carlisle, plus Duran Duran, Billy Strings, The Black Crows, the Avett Brothers, Blondie, and so many more. Urban and Beyond, September 14th through 17th in Louisville, Kentucky. All passes on sale now at bourbonandbeyond.com.
Indiana football.
And here they come. And Indiana got to him.
Hoosier fans, Indiana football tickets are on sale now. Catch the action at Memorial Stadium as head coach Tom Allen leads your Hoosiers against the Akron Zips on Saturday, September 23rd. Purchase your tickets today by calling 812-855-4006 or by visiting IUHoosiers.com. Cheer on the Hoosiers this fall at The Rock. Go IU.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Thanks for everybody that's joined us this evening and, spending your time, on the radio here or listening to us on the radio. Not everybody gets to do something like this, and it's a lot of fun for me to sit here and get to interview these coaches and talk to them. I'm by no means a professional sportscaster or journalist. I do enjoy getting to talk to these guys and bringing you guys a little bit of the X's and O's and things that's going on inside these coaches' heads and, the fundamentals of what these teams have got going. It's fun to sit here and, pick their brains a little bit about what they're going to be doing this week, next week, and how they felt about what happened on the week prior. It's good that, I get to talk to some, the other coaches on staffs and things like that. I did get the chance or the opportunity to sit and watch a JV game for the first time this year for the Salem Lions. I've got a nephew that's playing, and football to me is one of the greatest sports that there is because of the lessons that it teaches. It's no secret that I'm a huge wrestling fan, and that's where my love lies. That's why we've always continued to do Coach Corner into wrestling season, winter sports, and things like that with basketball. But football, to me, there's no bigger sense of family than football. And you hear me talk about it constantly on the show about football family. We've got two shining examples of what makes football family right now. And with the current state of health with Coach Brian Motsinger at Salem, and we're so glad that he's doing better and gonna make a recovery. And we're glad that Brian's still here with us to cut up and share stories and just be part of this community. Then out there at West Washington, you've got Landon Howells that in a fight, and anybody that's ever been in that fight knows how much of a fight it really is. It's great that we can all come together and put everything aside as far as competition-wise and make things happen for these kids and these people. Just to show them the love and respect that we all have for them, and making that happen every week. It helps, believe it or not. I mean, it helps with the recovery, and it helps with them, with their morale, keeping them up and upbeat. And, it's knowing that somebody cares about you really matters. So, I just wanted to take a minute to say that and say that, no matter what team you root for, there's always the human team, and that's what we're here for. And, I appreciate everybody that reached out and said the nice things and offered their thoughts and prayers and stuff for Coach and Landon. It's going to be a tough road for both sports, but, they're going to get there, and we're glad that they're going to get there. So, all right, so with no further ado, I'm going to go ahead and do tonight's nightly inspiration. And tonight's going to come from Tommy Lasorda. I had one picked out that was in mine, and then I got sent this other one, and this one, really nailed the sense of the air right now in Washington County. And this is what it says. It says, the difference between the impossible and the possible lies in the person's determination. Now, you've heard me say tonight that not a single team in Washington County won Friday night. But I don't think that, I don't think, I know that is not reflective of what these teams can do and who these teams are. I do feel like West Washington is going to rebound real well. They did get a little bit of a black eye, but that's okay. They're going to get back up on that horse, and they're going to get back after it. And I know that they're determined out there. East Washington is the same way. You've heard me praise that team so much. And for the last 2 years, maybe even 3, that those teams have been. Last year they were just on the rebuilding end of losing a whole lot of talent, and the next guy stepping up. But man, I tell you, they're just right there, and I think they are just just watching what they're doing out there. They've got a good football team. Maybe they just got to convince themselves of it, because there's just those little things that's just got to click. I was sitting there talking to Austin Roberts tonight. It's all those little bitty things that are missing, kind of like the rope is frayed with those. We got to get those tied together for Eastern out there, and I think that's just going to explode. Salem, man, I tell you, that team is they're small, they're young, but there's a ton of heart out there. I believe that there are some kids out there that are just, they're absolute beasts, and they're despite of what their size is, and I think that it's going to come on. It's just a matter of, finding the right combination, or finding the right steps. You go out there and you plan for this and you plan for that, and you've even got a plan for when the plan doesn't work. And there's so many little aspects, and watching these games as I do every Friday night for Salem, it's watching the first three downs are just things are happening, they're making things work. It's converting. They've got to make a little bit more effort on getting that done. They move the ball well to an extent, but they are very undersized, and that's going to happen. They're starting fresh with a new program, so they're trying to learn ways to get past the adversity of being a small and young team. And there's ways of doing it, with blocking teams and things like that. But it takes time to implement that stuff. So hopefully, we get that going and everybody gets in the right direction with making things happen there. The season is still young, but it's starting to come upon us pretty quickly, and before you know it, we'll be talking about postseason play and getting that together, getting prepared for that is what we're doing right now. So making sure that we are where we need to be, like you hear me all the time. Week 1 to week 6, what kind of team are you? Week 10, that first week section, that's when it really is going to matter. It doesn't matter who you draw. It doesn't matter, where you're playing. What matters is that determination. And Tommy was sort of hit it on the head. The difference between the impossible and the possible lies in a person's determination. Think about a few years ago, whenever we were playing, when Salem played in the sectional championship against Southford. Nobody expected us to come out of that game winner, and it was a tough game. And whenever we did pull out of that, and went on to play Gibson Southern. You know, that we weren't expected to get there, and we did. Now, obviously, that's not going to happen every year, but there's a possibility of that happening every year, and with every team in the county. Making the best of what you get is what's going to matter, and being determined to win. You know, nobody's going to be. That's the attitude that you're going to have. But it can't be all fluff. You got to get out there. You've got to do the work. You've got to get after it. So, with the amount of work and you know, it's always an uphill climb. You know, no matter who your opponent is the next week. Like we say here, you know, there's no gimme. You've got to work for every yard that you get. You've got to work for every point that you get. And at the end of the day, what matters is who's got one more point than the other. You know, hopefully everybody gets everything together, gets their stuff together this week, and we have a better football week. And you know, I can talk to some coaches next week about how great they did this weekend, and you know, it always feels good to bounce back from one. So sometimes it feels really good to bounce back from three. Hopefully that happens and everybody gets a win this weekend, and you know, we get to celebrate a little bit next week. All right, folks. I think that's about it for me tonight. Got a few commercial spots that I'm going to need to play, and then I'm going to head on home. But I will talk to you guys. If you're a Salem fan, you'll get to hear from me and Ryan on Friday night, and then I'll talk to you guys again here next Wednesday. You guys have a great evening.
Urban and Beyond this September in Louisville, Kentucky, with Bruno Mars, The Killer, Black Keys, Randy Carlisle, plus Duran, Billy Strings, The Black Crows, the Avett Brothers, Blondie, and so many more. Urban and Beyond, September 14th through 17th in Louisville, Kentucky. All passes on sale now at bourbonandbeyond.com.
Makes life so interesting. The theory of evolution claims only the strong shall survive. Maybe so. Maybe so. But the theory of competition says just because they're the strong doesn't mean they can't get their kick. That's right. See, what every long shot come from behind underdog will tell you is this. The other guy may in fact be the favorite. The odds may be stacked against you, fair enough. But what the odds don't know is this isn't a math test. This is a completely different kind of test. One where passion has a funny way of trumping logic. So before you step up to the starting line, before the whistle blows and the clock starts ticking, just remember, out here, the results don't always add up. No matter what the stats may say, and the experts may think, and the commentators may have predicted, when the race is on, all bets are off. Don't be surprised if somebody decides to flip the script and take a pass on yelling uncle. And then suddenly, as the old saying goes, we got ourselves a game.
Life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, one half a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. On this team, we fight for that inch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that inch. We claw with our fingernails for that inch. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's going to make the difference between winning and losing. Between living and dying. I'll tell you this, in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's going to win that inch. And I know if I'm going to have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that inch. Because that's what living is. Now, I can't make you do it. You got to look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now, I think you're going to see a guy who will go that inch with you. You're going to see a guy who will sacrifice himself for this team because he knows when it comes down to it, you're going to do the same for him. That's a team, gentlemen. Now, what are you going to do?
Kentuckiana's choice for the...
In there to get some strikeouts and some ground balls right now. He deals with the left-handed hitting Kerry Carpenter, who's 0 for 2. Carpenter has grounded to first and struck out looking. Cruz sets ready. He throws the pitch. Carpenter takes a strike at the knees. 0-1. Reds are up by a run. The Tigers are threatening. Cruz from the belt and throws. And the pitch is fouled back to the left side. That's out of play. Into the upper deck, and it is 0-2 on Carpenter.
Hasn't gone to that split finger down and out of the zone yet. It's a strikeout pitch. We'll see if he dials it up here.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. There it is. It's off the mitt of Maley. And the runners hold as the ball kicks away from Maley, but toward third. So that made Vierling a little uneasy trying to move up 90 feet. As that split finger got away from Cruz there. Almost knuckles a little bit. We've seen catchers have trouble with that this year. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cruz checks the runners. Now plateward with a 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Much better split finger that time. Down and out of the zone, and he had Carpenter waving at it. Carpenter strikes out for the second time tonight, and that's the first out of the 5th inning.
When it's on, it's an unhittable pitch. I mean, when you watch the pitch track of that splitter and how far it just drops off the table, it's unhittable.
Now Andy Ibanez. The pitch to Ibanez is down low. Snap throw behind the runner at first base, and back safely is Torkelson. And a good job on that low throw by Encarnacion Strand. He realized the Reds weren't going to have a play, so he went to a knee and just made sure that throw stayed in front of him as it skipped to the Reds' first baseman.
That was a catcher move that he just made.
Yeah, well, it really was. Cruz has the sign from the belt, looks at the runners, the 1-0. And the pitch is fastball just a little bit low. 2 balls, no strikes on Ibanez. Cruz home with a 2-0 pitch. And Ibanez swings and fouls it back out of play. Ibanez has always been looked at as a glove first second baseman. Although he hit pretty well while he was playing for the Cuban national team. Right-hander Cruz deals the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Good cutter that time. And he got a swing like it was the split finger, but instead it's the cutter down and away. And it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Andy Ibanez. And after that pitch, there are a few different things that Cruz could do here to this right-handed hitter. The 2-2 pitch. And he misses too high with a split finger. Miguel Cabrera waiting on deck. Miguel Cabrera, not exactly the same Miguel Cabrera that was winning MVPs, but still a dangerous presence, and you don't want to see him with the bases loaded and only 1 out. Payoff pitch. Did he go? He started. He went around. Couldn't check on the split finger down and down on strikes, Andy Ibanez.
Didn't even need the appeal. Manny Gonzalez rung him up himself. Normally you'll see an appeal.
It certainly looked like he went. He did. Yeah. There was no debating it. And I think Ibanez deep down knew it too.
Clearly went.
So he is down on strikes. 2 gone, and now Cabrera. Tying run at second, 2 outs. Cruz sets from the belt, fires. And the pitch, a little bit too low for ball 1, 1-0.
Cruz is coming back. His velocity has ticked up. He was touching 98 a few appearances ago.
In comes the 1-0 pitch to Cabrera. And it's low and outside. Missed that time with a cutter down and away.
The left-hand batter on deck. You want to be careful with Cabrera, obviously, but you do not want to walk this guy to load the bases with the left-hand hitter up.
Cruz sets. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Cabrera. And it's low and outside. 3-0. First and second, 2 away. Now, Cruz is rather tough on lefties.
He did get a strikeout of Cabrera here last night.
3-0 pitch. Over but low with a fastball. And the bases are loaded after the 4-pitch walk. And David Bell might go get Fernando Cruz right now and go back to his bullpen. Seems as though that will be the case. So Cruz faces the minimum 3 batters. And now he will exit with the bags packed. 2 outs. New pitcher coming on.
Sam Moll.
And it's the lefty summoned from the Reds bullpen. Another call to the bullpen presented by Smoked Justice just across the bridge in Covington. Smooth bourbon, smoked meats, smoked justice. We'll tell you about Sam Moll when we come back on the Alpha Fiber Reds Radio Network.
What makes Cincinnati Children's the #1 children's hospital in the nation? It starts with a world-class team on your side, working relentlessly for you and your family, pioneering breakthroughs, finding better answers, and offering compassionate care that's second to none. Cincinnati Children's, changing the outcome together.
When you're a Reds fan to the core, you want to show your pride everywhere, whether you're at the game or the grocery store. And with the Cincinnati Reds PNC Bank Visa debit card, you can put your pride on display in checkout lines almost everywhere. Visit pnc.com/RedsCard to learn more. Visa is a registered trademark of Visa International Service Association and used under license. Copyright 2021, the PNC Financial Services Group, Inc. All rights reserved. PNC Bank National Association, member FDIC.
Here at JTM, we serve every level of America's food service industry, and we're proud to do it the JTM way.
That means putting faith and family first in everything we do. It means having a strong commitment to personal growth for each member of our team. It's embracing a pioneering spirit to build something special with every new dish we create together. And it's the same way we've done it for over 60 years. To learn more about the JTM way, visit jtmfoodgroup.com/careers. JTM. Let's create great dishes together.
For lefty Sam Maul that takes over on the mound now for the Reds. Maul's done an excellent job in 17 games with the Reds, 1-0 and a 1.08 ERA. Overall this year, he's appearing for the 63rd time, and he's posted a 3.48 earned run average. Opponent's hitting .223 against Maul, 25 walks against 64 strikeouts. 16 of his 17 outings with the Reds this year have been scoreless. The Reds need one of those right now. Maul inherits the bases loaded with 2 outs.
Lefties to 179 batting average.
He has been awfully tough on him, and he's got a left-hander in Parker Meadows up there right now. Meadows just a 197 hitter. He's been on base twice tonight. A walk and a hit by pitch. Here's the pitch. And it's down and away. Ball 1. Fastball that missed. Scores around the league brought to you by FanDuel. Swing to the fences and join FanDuel today, official partner of the Reds. Mets lead the Diamondbacks 2-0 at the end of 4 in Queens. The 1-0 pitch to Meadows. Check swing foul over by the Tiger dugout. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Marlins and Brewers are in the top of the 3rd and scoreless. Rockies beat the Cubs today 7-3, so the Reds with a chance to gain a game on Chicago with a win. As Jim mentioned earlier, Giants walked off over the Guardians in 10. The pitch, swinging a pop foul back to the left. 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Parker Meadows. Meadows, a 2nd-round pick of the Tigers back in 2018. He was all set and ready to go to Clemson, but the Tigers lured him away with a hefty signing bonus. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Parker Meadows. Swinging a ground ball back to Maul, and he gloves it and flips to first for the out. The inning is over. The Tigers leave them loaded in the 5th. Reds still lead it